Hello there. This is Dr. Jason Munsell. It is Go Koalas. It is 2:47 or so, Tuesday afternoon. I should be watching baseball, but instead I am lecturing you. This lecture, I put the PowerPoint on Casey just right now, and I don't know, I tried to maneuver this design several different ways so you could see it from here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to, so you might have to follow along or listen to me as you follow along on the PowerPoint or whatever you want to do. I don't care. Hopefully the initial lecture helped you understand the format of the class a little bit better. If not, and again, please just ask me questions. Also, I went to campus today to turn in my contract, so I'll get paid for this. Ooh, big bucks. Yeah, I'm going to buy a yacht. And also, I went to the bookstore just to see, to double check, make sure they have books and everything like that. And they're there. I think it looks like about half of you have gotten the books, which is cool. The classes half full. I'm hoping the rest of it will be like tumbling over, fill it to the rim with brim. So hopefully you will get that book and start reading as soon as you possibly can. We don't want to get behind because summer is hot. So what I'm going to do is take you through just part of chapter 1. I know it's a little bit difficult. I just got a text. Woohoo! In any case, I'll take you through a bit of chapter 1, and then, as I mentioned in my email, I'm flying home to Tulsa, Oklahoma tomorrow. I already have my boarding passes. Can you see? I am in seat 16D. We board at 7:35 in the morning. That's going to be fun. So I might make a few lectures just for kicks and giggles here and there, and then post them at some point. And I think I had to talk to my mom again. I think at some point tomorrow or on Thursday, actually, I'm going to need to take my mom to the doctor. Which is one of the reasons why I'm going back. It's a hectic summer. I'll try to get the rest of this stuff up Thursday or Friday, but it might actually be Friday. But that's cool, so you can read chapter 1 and struggle with it. I have put the first thread up, which actually refers straight to sort of the end of this chapter when they're trying to get you, well, sort of the end, but not really, on page 21, where they're trying to get you to think critically in defining persuasion. And so take a look at that form. That's the first one that needs to be done by Sunday. And also just email me. I sent you an email this morning telling me to please email me just to let me know that you're getting my emails and that you're alive and that you're engaged in this class. I've gotten a few emails back, but not very many. But I know a lot of you are working, so hopefully this evening you'll send me some stuff. And by the way, if you ever have trouble finding the lectures, they're always going to be under bookmarks, not under the handouts, but under the bookmarks, which are bookmarks equals links to websites or videos. Also, I put more text. Also, I put what else was I going to say? Oh, I just wanted to remind you to also, Twitter stuff and Tumblr stuff. And one thing I'm thinking I'm going to try to find is and put it on this was I was going to say on bookmarks are some sort of easy to do, how to do stuff. But you can also Google it yourself. So in any case, my hope is that you will soon email me, tell me you're alive and that you're part of this class. Get those Twitter accounts, get those Tumblr accounts, email me the links to those stuff so I can put them on KC. We can start tweeting, start blogging, we can start threading, and we can, yeah. Okay, so I want to be brief here so I can get to some baseball. But in any case, I need to pack also and do laundry and all sorts of different things. This first chapter is huge. If you try to get through it, there's a lot of stuff in here. One of the things that I think is really interesting about this book that I really like is that each of the chapters has its own learning objectives. And one of the things that you could do with your blog, even, or tweets or whatever, or just get out a legal pad at home, and sort of create checklists as I do for every single day. Trace the influence of media on culture and persuasion. That's one thing that you should be able to do after you read this chapter. Explain various approaches to studying and defining persuasion. Identify characteristics of persuasion in the media age. Name the 5 objectives for persuaders. And recognize the implications of contemporary persuasion for audience members. So that's implications for outside audience members. So in any case, hopefully you will learn that stuff by reading, listening to my lectures and everything like that. So here we go. I mean, they offer a few examples of contemporary persuasion. The Coney video from 2012, a few years back, Apple and the Clint Eastwood, it's halftime in America. And they go through all this stuff and they make some points here and there about why they think certain things were effective and why some were not effective. I mean, just having the message out there, like on the internet and all over the place, does not mean that people are actually going to take action. But in any case, take a look at those examples. But I do think, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well, as I said, I say here in the second slide, large or small, medium. The stuff on page 5, paragraph starting with Paul, is muy importante. So that's something, and I always like in my little online lectures to tell you some paragraphs that I think are particularly important. Here's the information right here. Paul reports that Americans spend about 12 hours per day consuming information. That's half of the day. This glut of information has created a world of chaos, instability, and upheaval. The confluence of forces, technological and cultural, influences how we communicate with others. Yeah, okay. We live in a time when television dominates how we experience the world, maybe, but one in which social media and the internet are connecting us as never before. A medium of communication, a medium such as the internet, is often viewed only as a channel or a way of transmitting information. But it is important to realize that a medium, which is the plural, media is a plural, medium, channel. Right now, you're watching me on the internet. Oh my goodness gracious. Hey. No, I'm in the middle of recording a lecture.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so can I call you back soon?
Well, tell me what have you done to see if the orientation going or not?
Is it Thursday?
It's Thursday night.
Thursday night?
7:05, it'll be 7:05.
7:05. It's the drillers?
That's fireworks, that's it.
Oh, fireworks. Sure, yeah, I'll go.
Okay, all right.
Are you going? Okay, bye-bye. We live in a media culture. In any case, medium does more than serve as a pipeline for information to our homes. The medium brings information to us, to be sure, but also changes that information. And it changes those who receive the information, those who send it, and the culture in which the information is transmitted. We'll explore this somewhat controversial claim in more detail shortly. But basically, the medium and the media of communication impact all aspects of the persuasive process. It impacts who we are, who we think we are. It impacts our relationships with one another. It impacts our culture. It impacts our consciousness. It impacts how we think, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the channel is not just a channel. Then when I say channel, again, I mean sort of the medium through which we send communication via Twitter, via Facebook, via the internet generally, via face-to-face, via a letter, via a nonverbal communication, etc. So So lots of good information here, but the important thing here is that the medium is muy importante, and that stuff from Paul on page 5 is very, very important. It's a big, important idea that you need to understand for the entire class. And also, we are living in a mediated world, so that's particularly the type of world that we need to understand if we're to understand how persuasion works in our contemporary milieu or our own context. So the media age stuff on the bottom of page 5 is also very, very important, something that you should highlight. It says, persuasion is vastly different today than it has been for centuries. Media and other forms of technology have altered individuals and cultures, consequently the ways we produce and receive persuasive communication. Because in today's world, the media serve as intermediaries in the communication process, coming between audience and persuaders and affecting the information that passes between the two, we can be said to live in a mediated world. We refer to this changed environment as the media age. We are living in a mediated world, and I'm a mediated squirrel. I like Madonna. That's the next little thing. She rocks. Okay. So all that stuff is sort of to set up all this idea about the importance of how media and the media age impacts who we think we are, our self-concepts, our relationships, etc., etc., etc. I'll let you read all that type of stuff. But this first little section, again, is just sort of setting this stuff up. But the big point, again, the medium is very, very important. We live in a mediated world. On the road again. So the first big thing that they want to and this sort of ties to what they've been talking about, is media and consciousness. And I know this is big sort of abstract theory type stuff, but the idea is that the medium that is often used, or the mediums or media often used within given cultures, sort of infiltrate or change the way our brain thinks, and thus changes the way we see the world, changes the way we see ourselves, changes the way we see pretty much everything. And so a lot of this research comes from Walter Ong. But I do like On the Road Again. That's Willie Nelson. I love Willie. But that's not Walter Ong. On Target. That's Walter Ong. The glamour shot. Hi, I'm Walter Ong. And I did put some extra reading on KC where you can sort of read about Walter Ong. But he's a very, very very, very influential media studies scholar, and his stuff from 1982, the 80s were awesome. But in any case, his stuff is incredibly important if we are to understand the relationship between media and consciousness. Consciousness can sort of also be known as thinking style, as it says in Table 1.1. So, on with the online lecture. A communication medium, again, medium plural, shapes or frames the way we think, feel, become aware of, and about things. So, yeah. Media shapes or frames or molds consciousness, our consciousness, how we think about things, our thinking style depends upon medium, which impacts culture, and that impacts consciousness, etc., etc., etc. And so the very well-known sort of taxonomy that he has created is basically Table 1.1. That's very, very important. This is the gist of this very, very first lecture, that we have seen multiple different types of culture or media cultures. We have the oral culture, we have the literate culture, we have the electronic media culture, or they're just in this little thing, electronic. I'm going to rock down to Electric Avenue, and then I'll take it higher. And the higher is the new media culture. And I'll let you read all the various specifics. but I really like the way that they talk about in the table. They have the different culture, the type of media, the sender receiver